Hey everybody, it's Carpo. It's a Saturday and it's finally raining here in Portland. It's awesome. We need it. I don't have to water my garden. I was recommended to watch a video by George. Well, he told me he was going to watch Max Igan, I believe is the guy's name, or Igan, one or the other. So I watched the video and his latest video, and at first I was thrown off. I thought it was going to be something more like negative. You know, he talked about politics, he talked about all the problems in the world and all this different stuff. And I thought, okay, another guy with no solution to the problem. But I was only halfway through. And by the time I was done, he basically, in a nutshell, put much more eloquently than I can exactly what we need to do. Have integrity. And to lead by example. It's raining harder now. I'm gonna have to go hide. Coming? Oh, you coming with me? Okay. We're going under the tree. It's nice and dry in here. Okay. So this guy Max Igan, he's got some videos, and I've only watched one, the latest one, and it was really good. And in the end, he was able to say basically, we lead by example. And he talked about how we can't change the way things are through the common means. You know, as in, you can write to your senators all you want. You know, you can go into Congress and try to do something about it. Some bugs on me. But the plain fact is that the system is set up with blockades to keep people from doing anything about it. And it's always been that way, and it's not going to change. So the average person honestly has no way to change the system from the inside. Just the very fact that we are allowing things like lobbyists, like this is what he was saying in the video, that he mentioned lobbyists, which has always bugged me too. The fact that, you know, this is basically bribery, legal bribery. You know, here, you know, we'll get you in. You just pay us back. And so these politicians have big interests. So what do you do about it? You do nothing. There's nothing you can do. Oh, hey dude, what's up? Check it out, he's pissed at me or something. What's up, guy? You got a problem? You know what? This is my tree too. I'm not gonna hurt you, bro. He's all upset about something. What's up? So funny, I can't even hold the camera. Anyway, sorry, that was a detraction from the moment, but I thought it was hilarious. So this Max Igan fellow, he's great. I'm sure I prop this camera. Very unprofessional, right? And he's talking about how there's nothing you can do through politics. There's nothing you can do through the system in place. And that the most sad thing about it all is that people think the system exists. That they actually believe it exists. They don't see through the illusion of this system. That it's just people pretending like there's these digital laws that are physical. And I know people don't really believe that it's like that, but in their minds of society in general, there's a general consensus that people are really in charge. These people represent us. But the end solution is not to go through politics, not to go through these legal channels to try to battle things, because now certain situations warrant legal intervention. But I'm talking about stopping the big picture. So what do? You act from within. You don't just act locally, you lead by example, and you build the best value system you can. And hope that everyone gets on board, because we're living in very trying times. There's a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot of shit that gets to me. I mean, it's not like I sit around in fairyland and just think, oh, peace and love. No, hell no. I get pissed off. I get aggressive about stuff. You know, driving. I mean, I'm horrible. I get so mad at people. For example, I was gonna make a video about this the other day. Every time I come home, I want to come home and make a video about driving. And I don't, because it's cheesy. By the time I get home, I'm over it. I get over shit really quick, and that's part of a value system that you can bank on. But I used to get really irritated with people, and I've continued that, even though I'm a pretty peaceful person. I got my problems. Hey, if you don't use your fucking turn signal, and you don't understand how to merge when cars have to merge, that means one car from one side, one car from the other side. If you sit out there on your cell phone, or fuck around with makeup while you're driving and claim you're a good driver, if you drink and drive, if you weave in and out of traffic, if you're a motorcycle rider that acts like a dick and rides too fast, fuck you. You know, that's one of the things I just can't tolerate. I can't handle it. People have lost connection with one another. They have forgotten they're driving machines that weigh thousands of pounds that can kill people. And everybody just floats around all hunky-dory. You know, when I'm at the wheel, I pay attention. I mean, yeah. I mean, I look around and stuff, but shit. I look at the road, I'm concentrating, I'm aware of who's around me. I always use my turn signal, and if it's not safe, I don't cut people off. That's just not right, you know? I have a big problem with that. I had to bring that up. Driving. Anyway, it doesn't really tie in directly to what I'm talking about, but hey, does it anything? I always meander from subject to subject. I have a serious issue with bad drivers, and if a person is a bad driver, they need to encounter that. And if you get honked at, then you have a problem. I don't get honked at, but I do honk. And that's another thing. Don't be afraid to honk at people. I guess that's how I could tie it in. You know, don't be afraid to honk at people when you're on the road, because if they're acting like chumps, somebody needs to speak up, and people bite their lips too much. It's not just like that on the road, I'm like that in life, you know. When I'm in a group of people and everyone's talking about something that's not right, I always speak up and say, hey, this isn't right. And I always get funny looks. I don't care. I know who I am, and I know what I believe, and I have to speak for what's right and what my heart tells me. As long as people just do that, then everything will work fine. Everything would work fine. But there are a few people out there who want way more than their share. They've become addicted to power, addicted to wealth. And you know what? Those people need to be stopped. Those people need to be brought to a reality check, and for their own good. And not in a violent way, a bad way. These people don't need to be hurt or harmed in any way, because that defeats the whole purpose. What needs to happen is a complete currency collapse. And that's how I'm a doom earth anyway. I believe that a complete currency collapse is imminent in this country. And it's funny because the U.S. thinks that if the currency goes out in this country, then the whole world's going down. No, it doesn't work that way. The U.S. has a lot of ties to Europe and many countries around the world, but the world would by far go bankrupt if the U.S. collapsed. What would happen is there would be import and export problems. The shipping system would completely go bonkers, because the U.S. would be trying to buy its usual imports and unable to do so because the dollar's so weak. But meanwhile, the U.S. would be also so desperate to get money that it would export at super cheap prices to other countries. Other countries, you know, like, you know, whatever, Uganda, Algeria, you know, these random countries that may import something, I don't know which countries, I'm just saying, may build strong wealth based on our laws. And that's one of the things that a lot of Americans don't want to admit, is that it's a failed system. Our capitalist system is collapsing because we've taken too much. And our greed, our lust for resources, our lust for more, and better iPhones, and cheaper, you know, towel racks, and everything you can imagine, has really cornered us. Because we're being told, love our country, love your country, love people, you know, love America, you know, and if you're not proud, you're not an American. Move out. And it's not like that. I love my country. I love the freedom. I love the land. I love what it was, not what it was founded on. I don't go there. The founding fathers had their own problems. Every one of them had issues, things that they did out of greed and lust. That's human desire. Very few people had strong integrities. And it's hard. It's really hard, you know? You get into a certain group of people, and it's difficult to break away from that way of thinking. So, the lust for power, the lust for more, it's sad. But anyway, I love my country, and I want to see it fixed. And I want to see people break away from the current collapsing dollar system and be able to be self-sufficient like many other countries. And that's the thing, they would be able to feed themselves. And the U.S. would have a hard time doing that. Not enough people doing organic farming. And I want to see more people speak up. I want to see more people out there doing videos where they're talking about these problems, that they're voicing their concerns. And YouTube is like an open invitation for people to get out there and say what they have to say. And I know there are plenty of people out there who I'd rather not hear what they have to say because, you know, to each his own. You know, each person has their own, what they consider valid information. Some people like what I have to say, some people think it's BS. That's fine, that's the way I like it. It's a balance. But, you know, there are some folks out there who are extremists who shouldn't have anyone listening to them, like the extreme right-winger, you know, everyone else is wrong and capitalism rules kind of stuff, or the extreme religious folk who say, you know, everyone, ye shall go to hell if you don't repent. But in between are those of us who have a little bit of common sense and decency to one another and can discuss issues rationally. So, the guy's video was good. I liked it, and my own idea, my own take on, you know, the solution is basically the same, and that's why I dug it. It was kind of this this idea that we have to act alone. You can't expect other people to jump on the bandwagon right away. It's going to take time, and I think people are getting frustrated because things pick up, go faster and faster. It seems like we're losing ground, but we have to remember we're young. You know, this has been building climax for hundreds, if not thousands of years, building up to where we are now in this age. And because the technological revolution has taken us much further than we ever thought that we would go. A lot faster than we did. I mean, you can just look in the movies, look at what people could imagine. It was nothing compared to what we have. And it's just shocking to me still, just to even look at an iPhone and see the quality and crisp pictures. You can watch anything you want right away, live, information at your fingertips. So at this day and age, I beg everyone to do their research and do their homework, and not just to fall into some way of thinking. Because I think like Art Rant made this quote one time, something that I had just heard before that. It was something, can't remember who said it, but I would not be a member of any group who would have me. And that's kind of where I stand in life, you know. I won't be a member because a group means it has members, and members exclude others. And not everywhere, but that's kind of a, you know, just an idea. But I don't know if people can really come out of what we, you know, what we've dug ourselves into. There are a lot of issues to tackle, you know, not just politics, you know, nuclear fucking fallout and pollution. You know, I live on the West Coast, dude. Our ocean is probably destroyed. And what do we do? You know, what do we do as individuals? How do we change this? How do we break ourselves out of this fucked up cycle? And it's like the old dragon eating its tail, you know. That symbol is not what a lot of people just think it's cyclical. But it's death and rebirth. It's the fact that everything eats itself. Everything renews. The death of one is the birth of another. Serpent eating its own tail represents that. The cycle of death and rebirth. And there's just, the universe is huge. You know, the weird things happen. I had this thing happen where I went to work the other day and there was an owl, you know, in there. And it was weird in the house I'm working on. And little baby owl, and he got out. So the next day, Friday, I was driving home and I decided to take a different route. You know, I followed my instinct. Got there and I was driving down Marine Drive and I see this bird flying. I see an eagle swoop down. It picks up a fish, right? I see it carrying this big ass trout. And it flew, like, as I was driving, right over my car. And I just watched it, you know, an eagle, powerful, great symbol, you know, symbol of freedom, you know, the freedom to make choices, freedom to make decisions, but at the same time a predator. And as a symbol for the U.S., you know, I don't know, it stands for freedom in our minds, but you think about what it is, you know, it's a vicious bird, it's a raptor, it eats. But that's just the thought that came to mind, sorry. We do kind of consume a little bit, but, you know, to each one of us, we have to stop thinking of ourselves as Americans or Chinese or the folks that come here and they're still Hawaiian. You know, Hawaiians are big over here. They got their stickers on their car. Hawaii, you know, they love where they came from, and that's great too. But people will move from somewhere for, you know, financial reasons, but they still love where they come from, and it shows that people have a culture embedded in where they're from, and there's nothing wrong with embracing that. It has to be based on the right reasons. And so if we want to be proud of our country, we have to make it strong and have faith in one another and to start trusting people again. So, namaste. I'm out.